The levels look all right. What's up, all you Flux automators? And in this video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different compared to what everyone else is doing, hopefully. And in this one, we have the Mini 5 Pro. Obviously, it's the newest and greatest drone from DJI right now, and everyone's buzzing and talking about it. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. Rather than doing a normal review, let's put this camera up compared to all the other cameras. Now, these are not the high end, but they are the low to mid-range cameras and drones. So the main thing about the Mini 5 Pro, as you would know, is the fact that it has now a 1-inch sensor. So what does it look like compared to the other cameras? Do you need to upgrade everything else, or can they work together in combination to create the output that you're desiring? We'll see in this video. Okay, so you're wondering how many cameras I have? 8, that's right. 4 drones and 4 action cameras. So that'll be interesting. I'm gonna put them side by side on the screen and then also jump through them and give you my commentary as to what I think is good or what's bad about them. And also, is this the right combination to use with the Pocket 3? I think it is, but let's check it and see if it actually is a reality. So let's talk about the 4 drones that we're gonna be using in this video. And obviously we have the king, the Mini 5 Pro, which is a new entry, and this is what we're comparing it to, obviously. Next up, had to be done, the Avata 2. Now this is one of my favorite drones, maybe my top one. Well, comparing it to the Mini 5 Pro now, I'm not too sure, but this can do things that these can't. So next up, because now we have the Mini 5 Pro, I have to talk about the Flip as third, in my opinion, because of its versatility, all the things that you can do with this. If you're out on location and you don't have a cameraman, this is really easy to get up in the air and get those shots that you need. And on top of that, the quality out of this is really good. Probably not compared to that, but we're gonna see in this video. And then last but not least is the Mini 4 Pro. Now, this used to be the king, but you know, it's 2 years old now, and with all these other drones out, it has fallen down the ranking and is now number 4. Okay, so let's look at the 4 action cameras that we're gonna be using. Well, one of them is kind of an action camera, but not an action camera. So we have the Action 5 Pro, still a great contender. Soon something else is coming that's gonna take this over, but right now, this is what we're dealing with. We have the Pocket 3, which is one of the greatest cameras ever created. Then we have the Osmo 360, which is the contender to the X5, smashing it out of the park from where I'm concerned. And then we have the new entry, which is the DJI Nano. So we have the 4 action cameras here. We're gonna set up the other 4 drones with their cameras running. We're gonna set everything into auto, and then we're gonna record. Then we'll take it into the studio and we'll rank them in order of greatness. Even though they're all great, you know, one of them's gotta be king, which is most likely gonna be the Mini 5 Pro, but what's number 2? 8 cameras, we got the 4 in the middle, and then we have 2 on each side. So we got the Flip, we got the Mini 4 Pro, we got the Mini 5 Pro, and the Avata 2. Then we have the Action 5 Pro, the Pocket 3, the Osmo 360, and the DJI Nano. So, how's it looking? It's a nice bright day outside. A little noisy. I thought it would be noisier than it is now. So what I do now, as I'm at a distance, I'm gonna go around to each of the drones and cameras and just give a bit more of a close-up shot. So let's go and do that. So let's start off with the Flip. Okay. Okay, can you see me? Okay, if I get too close to it, it's gonna start moving back, so I think to stay here. And the Flip is probably the most unstable because of its construction. And now we have the Mini 4 Pro. Wonder what it's looking like on camera. Okay, maybe I need to back out a bit, come back in. Now, hopefully it's in auto. So it's auto focusing on my face. All of them should be. If they're not, we're gonna have to come back out here and do this test again, but they should be. Okay, so moving on to the action cameras over here. Action 5, how you doing over there? Looking good. Pocket 3, I know you are great and you're doing a perfect job. 360, hopefully. Let's tap the screen. Okay, you look like you're doing good. And the Nano over here. Let's see. Yeah, looking great. Let's move out. I'm just gonna do a quick in and out on these. How am I looking? Looking fly as always. And let's move across. Okay, let's move to the Mini 5 Pro. Okay, with that 1-inch sensor, it's probably doing a tremendous job. As I said before, everything is on auto. So if you want to get the greatest, obviously you need to turn it to manual and then set everything from there. But having 8 cameras, I'm not going to do that right now, maybe in a future video. So that is the Mini 5. Okay, and let's move on to the Avata. Okay, the Speed Demon, the Speed King. Okay, so it is lower. I could have tilted it, maybe a bit higher, but right now, we're just trying to get the shot. So, as I said, a nice bright day. So all these cameras should be performing at their peak. Maybe the shutter speed has to be cranked up because there's so much light and we haven't put any ND filters on, but that's just a test. Once again, all 8 cameras. I don't think you've seen this on YouTube before. I like to bring you some new stuff and stick on the channel. But first, let's get back to the studio so we can review all the footage and then I can prioritize and say which is the top 1 and down to the lowest 8. Yeah, that was a long setup. So I'm back in the studio. I have downloaded all the content. I've put it all together. And now what we're gonna do is go through the footage and see which is the best camera. Now we already know that the Mini 5 Pro is the top dog, but I'm wondering what other cameras will complement it. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go through all 8 cameras and see which ones really look good. So from first to last, best to worst. So what I've realized is the Mini 5 Pro has a wider lens compared to the Mini 4 Pro, which is a plus, but also can be a minus depending on what it is. But we do have that 2x lossless zoom on it, so maybe, you know, that might come in handy. So I've opened this up in Final Cut Pro and everything has been rendered, so it's got the full resolution. So first of all, let's check out the 4 drones. So as you can see right now, we have them on the screen. We've got the Mini 5 Pro, the Avata 2, the Mini 4 Pro, and the Flip. And they're looking quite good at this point. Okay, so I am gonna stop and start as we're going along. Now, one of the things you're probably gonna say is that I've made this probably a little bit unequal because of the direction of the sun. But as you'll see later on, when we actually look at my face in the video, it gives us a more definition so we can actually see the differences between the darks and the lights, because the darker shades are important. It's not just all about the brightness of the video. Now, all the footage has been recorded in D-Log, and what I did is just added the DJI LUT on top of all of the cameras, and I haven't done any other tweaking. Now, the Mini 5 Pro is looking really good, the Avata, the Mini 4 Pro, and the Flip. But you'll notice a little bit with the Flip here, there is a bit of a difference in terms of the warmth of the footage. Now, I didn't tap focus on any of the cameras at this point. They will auto focus when we look at the faces. So let's look at the drones individually on screen. So we got the Flip here, and you can see there's quite a lot of definition. Now you're looking at it when it's close up. If you look at the bokeh in the background, it isn't really that great. The picture does look good. Now, one of the main reasons I wore a red hat is because red is also very hard to duplicate and making sure you're getting the right tone. And as it is right now, it's managing to deal with the highlights and the lowlights very well. Moving on to Mini 4 Pro, you can see it has more of a warm tone to it. This is something that we can tweak a little bit later on. But as you can see, the bokeh at the back looks a lot better than the Flip does. Now, moving on to the Mini 5 Pro. Now, you might be saying this is a little unfair because I have a lot more shadow in this than I do have on the Mini 5 Pro. But if we just focus on the shadow areas, because they are the same shadows at the end of the day, the Mini 5 Pro is doing a way better job, and that's because it has that 1-inch sensor. So it can deal with the contrast between light and dark much better than the Mini 4 Pro can. Now let's move on to the Avata. Now the Avata has quite a wide lens. It does quite well, but as you can see, it doesn't really focus as well as the other cameras do, but that's because of the type of camera that is on there. It's one of the older cameras at the end of the day, and it isn't the same spec as the Mini 4 Pro, so that's where it's a little bit limited there. But if we're looking at the colors, if we look at all the colors going all the way through, The Flip is doing a decent job. The Mini 4 Pro, maybe if I brought the highlights up a little bit, it would look a lot better. Now, when it comes to the Avata, you see it does suffer a little bit with the reds. It doesn't get it as deep a red as the others, but you know, that's something that you can still work with. Now let's move on to the action cameras. We got the Action 5 Pro, the Osmo 360, the Nano, and the Pocket 3. Now looking at this screen, you might think to yourself that the Action 5 and the Pocket 3 are kind of the same-ish, but once we zoom in, you'll see the differences. And if you're looking at the Nano and the Osmo 360, the Nano is probably coming in last place. It is the newest camera, but it's got some of that old technology, I would say. And because it's very compact, it's not going to be able to perform as the other ones do. But it's made for being able to pick up something really quickly and use it. So it's not going to be the greatest spec of camera. Now, the Osmo 360, I've got to say, really got to say, I do really like the colors in it. Now, it is a new camera and it does have a brand new sensor. Hence the reason why I think it does produce colors a lot better than the older cameras. If we're looking at the reds, the Pocket 3 is doing well. The Osmo 360 is doing well, even though the reds might be a little bit blown. The Action 5 Pro is coming in third, and the Nano comes in last. Now, if you want to go in and tweak, you can probably get those reds a little bit deeper, but you just got to be a little bit careful because you could impact the color of the skin tones, and just making sure that you are able to balance that out. Okay, looking at the cameras individually, we got the Action 5 Pro. As you can see, it's not going to be the sharpest because of the type of action camera that it is, and I am quite close and it should be focusing. Now you can see it's focusing on my mouth more than anything, which is okay, and it's still getting a lot of the background in focus, so you don't get too much bokeh from that. When you come to the Pocket 3, obviously is that type of camera, it can focus, so as you can see in the background, the bokeh is nice and creamy and soft, whereas my face is very sharp. And the colors, I gotta say, the colors are great. I can't wait for the Pocket 4 to come out, to be honest. The Osmo 360, I gotta say, is doing a great job. In the daylight, these cameras work really well. In low light is when they don't perform the greatest, but let's just look at it from this perspective in the bright light. Now, moving on to the last, the Nano, I've got to say, you know, it doesn't do the best job, but as I said before, it's made as a tool that you can really easily carry with you, and you can put it on so many different things if you want to get some B-roll type of footage, or if you just want to be doing a type of vlog. Now, putting them all together on the screen, this is really small, but it's going to show you just a quick representation of what you're going to get. The Mini 5 Pro, you can see straight away is performing the best. You've got the Pocket 3 over there as well. But I gotta say right now, the Mini 5 Pro is doing a really good job. Okay, so let me now order these in order of greatness. So first of all, obviously, Mini 5 Pro is the top camera. It does a great job right now compared to the Pocket 3. I think these two can work in combination. You might need to tweak the Pocket 3 just a little bit to match up with the Mini 5 Pro. Then we've got the Mini 4 Pro. It needs a bit more tweaking in terms of the shadows. Coming on to Osmo 360, I think this is something that you can really use alongside the Pocket 3 and the Action 5 Pro to give you a nice rounded combination of tools to create your content. Now, the Avata 2 is a camera that you're not necessarily going to use so much for people, and you're going to use it for environments, but you can do as you would do like fly-throughs, but you're not going to focus too much on a person like you would do with the Mini 4 Pro or the Mini 5 Pro or the Pocket 3, because it doesn't have that ability to track, but it provides great footage and it creates something that none of the other cameras can do. Well, unless you put the Nano on top of the Avata 2, but to be honest, I think that's downgrading from the camera that is on the Avata 2 already. Moving on to the Action 5 Pro, which is still a great camera, but it's going to be superseded by the Action 6 Pro anytime soon. And then we've got the Flip. Now, the Flip is a really versatile tool that you can use, and I've used it many times in my videos. Now, all these cameras do have their own individual use purposes. So with the Flip right here, it's something that you can carry. You can get some good shots. You can use your remote, you can use your phone, you can use your voice, and you also can set it up so you can just launch it from your hand. And that is a really good tool. The only downside to that is just the performance isn't as great as the others, but I still gotta say it is a good tool, especially if you are a vlogger or you are a solo content creator and you're in certain places where you need the extra B-roll. It comes in handy. So last but not least is the Nano. It is the little kid on the block, and as I said before, is a tool that you can use for many different things. and compared to the other cameras, it can get into places where they can't. So it is a great tool to use. So let's go over it again one more time in that order. So we got the Mini 5 Pro, then we got the Pocket 3, we got the Mini 4 Pro, Osmo 360, Avata 2, Action 5 Pro, Flip in 7th, and 8th is the Nano. Now I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want more content like this, please let me know in the comments. Is there anything additional that you want me to do as part of this video? Also let me know in the comments, and make sure you stay tuned. And if you're thinking about buying your Mini 5 Pro, Mini 4 Pro, or any of the devices on here, please use the links in the description, because it helps me to buy more gadgets so I can do more reviews for you guys and keep you happy and help you save that money. And click on this video right here, because I'm going to show you a lot more when it comes to the Mini 5 Pro that the other channels are just not going to talk to you and share with you. And for now, thank you for subscribing. Peace.